Lord, worship Him, give God praise and thanks, confess your sins and ask Him for His forgiveness. And and then Monday morning you come out bright and ready for a new week. Our program today is brought to you to the kind courtesies of Satex Agencies, located on the Casualty Drive in Colby. That's the road just between Motor World Used Cars and St. Martin Cars. That road, you drive down that road, you pass SBS, and then on your left hand side, that's where you will see Satex Agencies, just opposite where they used to be. They're open from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. No, to 4 p.m. From 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Okay? And when you need your wardrobes, chest of drawers, utilities cabinets, your 4 drawers cabinets, your 3 drawers cabinets on wheels, if you need your multi-purpose cabinets, your tool sheds, or what I call the tool shed, if you need flower pots in different sizes and shapes, and if you need dog houses for big dogs or small dogs, the place to check is Satex Agencies. And if you need strong durable plastic chairs for an event or even just for your home, then you go and you check out Satex Agencies. They also have tables. Yes, plastic tables, strong durable. Then you check out Satex Agencies. And let me tell you, they have the containers where you could put away foods or documents with the lids. The lids fit snugly on the container so no water gets in. You don't have to worry about air or anything like that getting in. So whatever you put in that is properly secure. You can get it at Satex Agencies. And Satex Agencies, also the distributors of Gloria milk products and Gloria juices. But make sure check them out for the plastic containers, plastic wardrobes, chest of drawers, and so on. They're plastic, so you don't have to worry about them rusting or anything like that. It will last you a lifetime. So make sure go to Satex Agencies and check out all what they have, because what I'm telling you is just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, they have those containers for dishes and other things. You could make sure check them out on the Casualty Road where they're now open. Okay, and their telephone number is 581-3437. And you could also check them out on their Facebook page. The Facebook page is Satex Agencies St. Martin. So make sure check them out. Satex Agencies St. Martin. That's Satex Agencies Facebook page. So make sure check them out. Satex Agencies continue to give you good products at good prices with good service. The program is also brought to you to the kind courtesies of Organic Creations. Organic Creations located in the Orange Grove Shopping Center. Shop number 1, open Monday to Fridays from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. When you're concerned about your health, you want to make sure all body parts are functioning optimal. All your biomarkers are in range, meaning functioning optimal, then you go to Organic Creations. There we have a certified nutritionist who could tell you which supplement, vitamins, or whole foods best suit you for your specific condition. You want to lose weight? Well, check out the Lviv Slim. It's at 50% discount right now at Organic Creations. Help you lose weight in a healthy manner. When you get there, make sure check out the special table and see all what's on special. That's at 50% discount on that special table. At Organic Creation, they have a wide variety of vitamins for children, for grown-ups, for teenagers. They have a wide variety of teas, wellnesses, and of course, organic products such as organic soaps, organic shampoo, organic deodorant, organic toothpaste, and much more. Check them out for essential oils, liquid herbs, and of course dried fruits, the hardest products such as the Red Lviv, the Shield, and much, much more. We're at Organic Creations. We want you to live healthy. Give them a call on 523-9496. And you can make an appointment for your Zyto scan too, so that you know what's going on in your body. So make sure check them out in the Orange Grove Shopping Center in Colby, and you live a healthy lifestyle. organic creations. Gotta say good afternoon to the folks at Say Yes Jewelers. Say Yes Jewelers is located in the Horizon View Hotel on Front Street, right next to the Roman Catholic Church. That's the jewel store on Front Street that caters to locals. So if you need jewelry, if you need watches, sunshades, or anything like that, go to Say Yes Jewelers. It's Friday, and of course I got to end the week on a high note. My guest today is no stranger to radio, former MP. I still call him MP, you know. But we're talking about, now let me see, Claudius Anthony Boncamper. And we know, some people know him as Bunks, some people know him as Stonecher. His wife calls him Teddy Bear. Stonecher, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Fernando.
I'll give you a good introduction.
Let's leave it to the introduction. To my listening audience, also a pleasant good afternoon to all of you. Ooh, it's the weekend, Fernando, and I agree with you. Yeah, you always gotta end on a high note during the week, so that you start back fresh on Monday. And what a week it has been, eh?
Yeah, it has been a week.
Yes, it has been a week, but I think today I read the recent breaking news. So while they're fighting in America if Biden is competent or not, and should he run or should he not run, the Supreme Court in the Netherlands, in a landmark decision today, instructed Curacao and Aruba to allow, or not to allow, to recognize and have same-sex marriages. I think it brings to an end a long, long conversation, a long court battle. The decision has now fallen, and I think you just have to move on with what it is, unless you want to go to the human rights courts, which I don't believe is going to yield anything different than what came out because of the discriminatory factor within the Constitution. Because of the Constitution, they lost basically the position, because they were told to adjust their Constitution, they would not adjust, and based on that, you get this. Yeah, you got a decision on this, and you're gonna have. Both sides are going to fight their position. I mean, at the end of the day, St. Martin has not been involved in this discussion because it doesn't seem to have reached our shores yet. But when it does reach our shores, you must understand there's a presidency already set by the high courts, so that basically you're either going to follow or you will be instructed to follow. So, and I just said, let me start my discussion with this, because we are heading into a new direction, Fernando. A direction some people might not like, some people are not sure of, but the world is changing every day. We are being affected by what happens in the world, not necessarily what happens in St. Martin alone. And when I say a new direction, people think that I am now referring to the court case. No, absolutely not. The court case has its own merits, but I'm referring to, for example, green energy, where we have not decided what we want. We have a short-term solution, but what about the medium-term and long-range solutions? Where are those really going to sit with country St. Martin? Yeah. Yesterday I was on a program with Mike, and I told them, the Now Party wants to offer a new direction. St. Martin needs a new direction in life. We need to offer our people not only hope, but realities. We should offer them a way that they become part of the country. Now, how do you do something like this in reality, Fernando? Now, it's not rocket science, but we have to adapt to certain criteria if we want to do it. Now, yesterday I spoke about smart, affordable homes. And people say, yeah, but I always talk about affordable homes. I said, correct, but you didn't hear the word smart. You didn't hear people talk about sustainable jobs. You hear them talk about job creation. I want to go at it in a different twist. Because for you to build a smart home, it means you're using technology and you're using certain criterias. Criterias that have been set by a fund, a group of asset managers, $30 trillion in assets they manage. It is called the Environmental Society Governance Group. It is the ESG. Please, if you don't know what I'm talking about, hit Wikipedia, Google it a minute. It will give you a simplistic look at what it's all about. These people have money available for you to use. This is a climate fund, a climate change fund. So the money is there and you can access it free of charge, but there are criterias. You know, like when Holland give you money, they said these are conditions. Well, the same thing this fund does. But this fund gives you conditions that will have impact investments. So the government, the corporate part of government, should be dealing with its waste correctly, with its pollution correctly, protecting its environment, drop its energy consumption, use green energy, alternative energy. You know, these are the type of things that they are looking at in the environmental aspect.
And these are things that the country
has to do, because then you will qualify. You should not be discriminating in the society aspect. You got to work with everybody. And when it comes to government, you got to adhere to climate change. You got to work to fight climate change. And those environmental aspects are mostly where it goes wrong. But also corporate governance. Because you keep hearing in corporate governance in St. Martin, oh, they could give an advice. I don't need to take the advice. Now, this is where things change. If you want to access climate funds from this ESG group, you need to adhere to these criteria. Now, contractors need to comply also with certain criteria. So if it means the material you use to build a home, the windows, the roof type, the paint you use, the light bulbs you have in there, solar panels on your roof, all of these, instead of cutting your yard down to the dot and fill it with concrete, they're going to have some greenery in between. Now, these type of criterias, once the government accepts those and sets them casts them into law, so that means your building ordinance is being adjusted to build smart. Contractors have to comply with building smart and must be certified to build smart. Then you have access to this money. This is free money, Fernando. This is you don't have to repay it back. You just have conditions to ensure that your investment has an impact in the country and climate change. This is what's about. This is what the Now Party is looking at moving forward. We need to have impactful investments. You know, we can continue talking, you know, the things about, oh, Jimmy this and oh, listen, let's get away from that. That is not going to solve the problems we have right now in St. Martin. Our problems need to be addressed and addressed properly, addressed directly. Now, something, Fernando, I have been speaking about, and I will continue to speak about until they listen, is the revamping of the tax system right now to alleviate the seniors from paying wage tax and income tax. It is absurd that people are paying at this time from their pension that they get.
But if they have, let's say, a business or so.
That's a different story.
Okay.
That's a different story. I'm talking about your pension. I said your pension should be tax-free. Now, the tax law says, but you got a break when you were younger and you were paying into the pension fund, you were deducting it from your income tax. And I'm saying, fine, pull a line. We talk about 3 million guilders. Our budget is 450 million. You want to tell me for that 3 million, you are not willing to make a change and ensure that the 25 to 3,000 pension holders can get a break? For God's sakes, this government signed a deal for 50 years for 3 million to bail out 2,500 pension people at Enya. But your own people here, you prefer to put them through hell because you are willing to give them that. When you are sick in your mind like that, you don't deserve another 4 years. You deserve nothing, actually. Because that's the trend of thought that the now wants the people to see and get away from it. We need a new direction. We need empathy. We need compassion for our people. We can't do it overnight, Fernando. But we can do it with their vote come August 19th. And that's important for people to know. If you really want to make a difference, then put people there that are willing to make the difference. And not those that now come and talk about, oh, I'm going to make sure I don't tax you on this, and I'm going to make... But you were there for 4 years. Why didn't you do it? Why didn't you do it? You know, promises are comfort to a fool. To come and tell people you're going to try to do it now, you were there, why didn't you do it? I keep hearing parties talking about what they're going to do, but you were there, you didn't do it. You didn't do nothing. And now that you realize, because I'll tell you something, Fernando, I speak to a lot of people on the streets, and they say, "Ban camper, let me tell you something, that 2x4, they could say what they want, but it was 17 days of hope that we had, and they took that away from us. We had hope that we would be going to better places. But greed to be in power took that from many people. So come August 19th, let's hope that the people can deal with this matter the right way once again. You did a good job, January, but now we need to do a better job. We need to put a party in there that has a sense of direction, a new sense of direction. We cannot continue the old way. That's why I love my party name. We are a party now. We're dealing with problems now. Solutions now. Not yesteryear, not history. People learn from history, but you don't live history no more. You got to live in the situation we are in now. And we have a crisis situation that we have to deal with. So in that sense, I say, you know, let's hope that we can get all heads and all noses pointed in one direction so we can do what needs to be done. I honestly think that, you know, in St. Martin, a lot of people have good intentions, but unfortunately don't have the ability, the knowledge, or the expertise to do it. I bring those things with me. I have those things. And other people can say what they want, but that's what I have. That's what I offer the public. So, you know, Fernando, again, like I said, I sincerely believe that this can work for us. See, we have somebody on the phone. But nevertheless, Fernando, while you are discussing that with them, I think it's important to also address the fictitious budget that was passed. And I say fictitious for a simple reason. I think budget 2024 was passed because there was pressure from the Netherlands that if they don't pass it by the 31st of March, they might get an instruction. So the government passed the budget. The budget had a lot of loopholes in it. And one of those loopholes, and I want to thank Minister Lewis for standing his ground to ensure that the school teachers from the various school boards are paid their 1% COLA and are paid their 1% vacation allowance besides what they received. Now I hear politicians go there and say, yeah, the government did, but for God's sakes, you were there till May 5th. But May 3rd, sorry. You know what is funny, Fernando? There was a covenant signed in December 2023 where this was mentioned. School boards had to go and get their money, their numbers together. They did all of that. The government was in place till May 3rd. They made no efforts whatsoever to bring that amendment to the budget, to budget 2024 that was passed. Only passed in March the 31st. No effort was made to put in that amendment one time. But put in fictitious incomes and selling veneer, all kind of nonsense. Today, that same budget needs to be cut by 30 million guilders. That same budget that the NA passed needs to be cut by 30 million guilders. Put that in your ears, people. That's what wants a new chance again. They want 4 more years. To do what? To destroy this country totally? Because that's what's happening. That's That's what's happening. And then they go out there and they're talking and they're grandstanding. Please.
But one of the things that happened was that when the current government went in, they made a remark that the country was bankrupt. Okay?
And a lot of people laughing and said, prove it. Well, we proven it. You know, we cut the budget by 30 million. Why do you think they cut it for? Because they got the money? No, they don't have the money. We are 30 million short this year. So we cut them by the police, we cut them by the teachers, we cut them in healthcare, we cut them all over. You're going to have to cut. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be able to pay November and December salaries. Because you want the money. Because that's the mess the NA government put this country in. Coming with all kind of promissory notes. Remember, they were in Parliament. They were also in government the 31st of March 2024. It was their budget that was passed. No amendment in that budget to pay the teachers that they promised in a covenant signed in December 2023. That's the government that is asking people, give me a chance again for 4 years. Absolutely not. But people need to understand this, Fernando. Because they're out there selling all kind of Nancy stories, feel-good stories. This country don't need to feel good. This country needs to be good. And if you want to be good, you need a party that can make you good. A party with a new direction, a party with a real vision. Not a pie-in-the-sky vision. I'm going to build 500 homes. The last promise was 1,000. You didn't build none. But now you're going to build 500. Then you hear them talking about, we're going to bring LNG gas. No, you got to bring green energy. Van Hoffelen said, I'll give you $60 million loan tomorrow, but for green energy. Not for LNG, not for diesel fuel, not for fossil fuel. So please tell the people the truth for God's sakes. Because we are lying to them again. We put up big billboards. Billboards, you can't eat that, people. You can't eat it. What you need is structure. When you see SHTA comes out and says, we have lost 47%, I believe it was, of their income because of the GB crisis. We have to throw away 20% of our stock.
I can attest to that.
And you're not looking for a situation to bring a diesel engine the next week, but you're talking about 3 months, 6 weeks, and then another 6 weeks. I mean, please.
Yeah, and then
We can't be serious because you cannot look at cost of the engine alone. You have to look at the economical damage it's doing to the people because they don't have electricity to run their business, and you need to look at the mental damage it's doing to people. People are stressed out. People they do things they shouldn't be doing because they cannot cope with the city. You know, this GB crisis is nearly as if you're going through a hurricane.
Yeah,
every time you come home, your house in darkness. It's a serious problem. People don't understand it. But it's not because you can drive around freely means your country is not in a crisis. Your country is in a very serious crisis.
Yeah.
Food prices are going up. GB's prices are going to go up. If they like it or not, they can come and tell you all stories. I am telling you as an expert in that field. You're burning diesel. You're not burning bunker C, which is the cheaper fuel. You're burning more diesel. That 10 megawatt of electricity you're going to burn on diesel is going to jack up the prices, not bring them down. Let nobody fool you. Let nobody come and tell you it's different. Then ask them to put it on paper and show you the figures. Because all we're doing is talking, but nobody wants to show it. I made a video on fuel class to show you how it works. The more diesel you use, the higher your fuel class is. It's that simple. Go by the pump, you'll notice diesel is expensive. It's what, $2 I think, per liter or gallon?
Yeah.
Well, that same diesel.
As years ago, diesel used to be the cheaper fuel.
It was the way to go in your car.
Yeah.
You know, but nowadays they compensated with hitting you 800 or 1200 for the number plate. So, you know, they're looking for their money like how the banks them do. Can't get it in the interest loan, so they can take it in the service fee.
Yeah.
But they want the money at the end of the day.
But let's look at the crime rate on the island now. We have a problem here.
Oh, Fernando, I don't think we...
I heard you complaining about this since last year. You were saying, as a matter of fact, you were saying crime rate will go up.
Yes. And that is because we are not providing sustainable jobs. Listen, Fernando, A young man, a young woman, they're always desiring a certain lifestyle. They see things on Facebook, social media, and they would love to have that too. But if your country doesn't allow them that, because all we cater to is low income jobs, because anytime you come back educated to this country, you're overqualified and nobody hiring you. And we giving out work permit after work permit after work permit. I've spoken about this. Not today, not yesterday, but yesteryear already. On the floor of Parliament, I was adamant about it. And I keep telling people, crime is made, it's fostered. It's like a child. You let a child run wild, he gonna become wild. If you don't take care of your young people, and that's why I said we need a new direction. We need to find jobs in a new industry. And in my opinion, that industry is construction. Smart homes means you're going to be dealing with new technologies. Solar panels. Take 100 youngsters, teach them how to install solar panels. Take another 30, teach them how to manage the system with the inverters, batteries, etc., etc. Fernando, we just sent home 100 people at TLM. What are you going to do? You going to give them a bus license and a taxi license? Is that what we're going to do with them? Or are we going to try to reschool them and put them into fields? Young people are very innovative, but young people also have a very short span of attention. So you need to get to them fast. And if you don't get to them, they're going to get to you. The problem is, very often, it's in a form of a violent crime. It's a robbery or some craziness. Yeah. Now, you notice there's a lot of shooting going on, a lot of gun violence. Yeah. So, while the former minister was telling everybody, I'm not going to give you a gun license, I'm not going to do this, the police are going to protect you. You don't even have enough police to protect the country, more or less to protect people. Business owners are being robbed. Now they have reached a stage that they are shooting each other. And they are shooting each other based on most probably rivalries within the gang world, rivalries within the drug world. I don't know, but it is a very serious concern because people are getting nervous. You see videos circulating, clips circulating, that shooting just happened a few days ago here on the French side too. This is scary because it is not on your phone and my phone alone. It's also on the tourist's phone. You see things happening in other islands in the Caribbean. Sometimes you wonder if it is with intent that these things are pushed around to damage your tourism product, because that's what we have. And when tourists start to feel unsafe, they ain't coming here. Now, there are other countries with beaches. There are other countries that have good hotels, nice environment, you know. So we have to be very, very cautious with the message that is going out there with the energy crisis, with the high rate of crime now, unemployed. You know, we got to be cautious. Destruction of our environment. We have to be careful, because if we are not careful, we will lose what we have built over the past 30 years and 40 years. So I honestly hope that the people are paying attention on what's happening. This didn't happen overnight. Yeah. This has happened over a period of time.
But, you know, we could talk easily and say, well, then what's the solution?
I am trying to give you a solution here with sustainable jobs. I am saying let's move away from only tourism. I brought up the last time I already spoke about the legalization of cannabis. It's a big industry. This is a billion, if not $1 trillion industry in the world. And we are pussyfooting. I have no other word for it. With it. Now they put out a request for proposal that was not even attainable by any local enterprise. And they are telling the people, oh, no, it's just for them to make legislation. Absolutely not. That's a lie. That's a blatant lie. Nobody gonna do nothing for free. There's no free lunch. So what are they getting for doing that legislation? And all of those that know it, come out and say it. Or are you going to lie to the public? There are 8 licenses that are going to be granted to locals. But under whose watch? Under whose control? None of those things are being said. They should be said. The government's only role is to collect taxes. Nothing else. They want their money. And it's a good income you can make off it. And you know, they'll say, yeah, but that you can't bank the money. That's not true. In the Netherlands, last week, there was or 2 weeks ago, there was a court case where the courts have told the country you cannot be legalizing or tolerating something and then telling them the money ain't no good. You got to give them bank accounts. And the people are getting bank accounts. It's to show you that the world is not as difficult as we want to make it sometimes, because as long as you keep all information, you believe information is power. But the internet is very vast, quite information, and you can find a lot of things. But again, sustainable jobs in the field of green energy. So solar panels, putting them, look, it is not going to be for the next 20 years a lot of jobs. But for the first 10 years, transforming your company from diesel engines to solar panels, to wind energy, to waste to energy. By doing that, you are creating jobs that pay well. Not everybody wants to clean a bedroom in a hotel. Not everybody wants to be a beach boy or a waiter or somebody cleaning the roadsides. Sure, those jobs are honorable jobs, but they're not high-paying jobs. And the problem is, our jobs pay minimum wage. I think it's 1,700 guilders, and our livable wage, some of them are saying it's 2,700. I stand by the 2,550 guilders that came out of SER. I think that's a much more stronger number than the 2,700 guilders that we're playing with. Because if you look at rent, if you look at health costs, if you look at food, if you look at transportation, 2,700 guilders is $1,500. I ain't going no place. Let's be honest with each other. Because a mother and 2 children cannot live off of that money.
So what's the amount you're looking at?
It is, in my opinion, it's 3,550 guilders. Those are the numbers that came out of the discussions with SER, VESA, and all them. I see this 2,700 pop up because that's a Curacao number. And it is not, Curaçao's cost of living is totally different to St. Martin's when it comes to the factors that I just mentioned, because that's what you're looking at, factors, when you want to make such a calculation. So I think there are a lot of different things that we need to look at when you do that. But jobs need to be created in different fields. Agriculture is another place. And people believe when I say agriculture, oh, go and dig up the land alone. No. Now, while that was the traditional way, agriculture has developed itself into a very technological based business. Agriculture can be done in containers, and you don't have to poison the fruit to make it taste sweet. The difference is, in the greenhouses that you build them that they are hurricane proof, so that the sustainability factor is still kept intact. That is what people want to know. So when a hurricane passes, I could still get lettuce from you, I could still get eggs from you for the chicken, you know, and the answer should be yes. So you have to build resilient towards that. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself in a problem that when you're on the land and you put out crops that yield every year, 2 years, if every year a hurricane passes, you'll never have a crop. You see, so these are things we have to look at and think about when we go into the new direction that the Now Party really wants to go into.
Now, let me also talk, because we have touched somewhat on the cost of living, the general cost of living. Now, I heard a minister in, I believe it was Antigua, he was opposition, and somebody said, it's easy for the opposition to say this, but he was saying, but we talking about increase. I never heard nobody talk about decrease. So what about if things could go down?
They can. They can.
And I think he had a good point.
They
what
can.
do you think about that?
It can. Where do we spend most of our money on?
In the US.
We spend it on rent, electricity, food,
Yeah.
and transportation.
Oh, I thought you meant where.
No,
But
no,
you mean
no.
on
No,
what?
but
Yeah.
those 4 principal things.
Yeah, that's true.
If I can bring down my electricity cost by 40% because I'm using solar, if I can build up my agriculture so that I import 30-40% less food from outside, because I can do shrimp farming, lobster farming, fish farming, we have the French side here, they make 5,000 heads of lettuce. So they market, you have others do different strains of tomatoes, paprikas, you name it.
Yeah.
We can do it. We then dropping the cost of living, because the cost of living is based on those things. Rent should be controlled. I'm not telling you to, tell them it's only $200 to go get free because nobody gonna build an apartment. Then they're gonna tell everybody get out of the apartment, they're gonna live in it themselves.
Yeah.
Because if they can't pay the mortgage on it, it makes no sense. A lot of people have built apartments so they have something for their older day. So we have to build affordable homes for them. Transportation with a container is not something that we control.
Yeah.
So that fuel cost is going to become a problem. But it doesn't mean to say that you cannot liaison with cruise ships that come to your country and we offer them a plug-in by the harbor and you pay me for that electricity and I pay you for transport of goods that you're bringing for me.
Yeah.
You see, I'm thinking out of the box. I ain't going in a container. I'm going that there are pallets in there, and when you dock up here, I offload. Just like how I load you up, I offload you. People say, but that can't be, we got... yes, we have laws. And laws are made to be amended, if need be. I want to keep cruise ships here longer. That means I have to amend my gambling law so they can open their casinos and their stores. Otherwise, they're going to go into international water and float out there, where they can open their casinos and their stores. We have to understand the business better. And when you understand the business, you can make changes to the legislation to enhance your country's income. But we're not doing that. We keep doing the same old thing and we're hoping for change, but you're not going to get change.
Now, you talk about that, letting the cruise line stay here a little longer. I heard somebody objecting to that, saying, yeah, but then you're bringing in more competition against us, against the locals.
When people say that, I will only smile. I cannot go on a cruise ship and have dinner. I won't be let on.
Yeah,
but by them staying here, 5 might come off. 5 that you didn't have, because they'll be floating on the sea out there. 5 might take a tour at night and see how Samaritan looks at night and give people work. So no, it's a foolish answer to say that you're getting competition. There is no competition. Because they are here. Instead of not being here, they are here. So I think it's a misconception.
Yeah.
Somebody said something and they didn't understand what was being said. There is no way a cruise ship staying here and people can be in Samaritan is a negative something compared to the cruise ship being off island. So no, I think when it comes to that, no, I think the concept is wrong. The concept is totally wrong. Having cruise ships here is a great thing at night because you will make Phillipsburg alive again.
Yeah.
We don't have enough people living there, living in Phillipsburg, but I see Mark just joined, so maybe Mark you can. Yes. Safety is a factor.
Yeah.
But I just see Mark there, so maybe Mark can also troll comment that ships can stay longer and it will enhance the economy of the country. I don't see anything different there.
Now, I have to agree with you because I could look at it like this and say, yes, the casino will be open. However, if you have 1,000 people here, 900 stay on the ship to go in their casino, and 100 come in, you have 100 that you will not have had here.
Exactly. That's it. You couldn't have said it better. Listen, we have costs as country. We will have costs for, like, believe you what you're saying, for security. That's correct. Mm-hmm. But you know what, Fernando? The more people you have walking around and the livelier an area is, the more your product is selling. Because the best commercial you can have is somebody saying how great your island was.
Yeah.
And the worst critic you can have is somebody saying how bad your island is. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Word of mouth is the way.
Yeah. So I think that's a good thing too. Also, I believe, let me ask you if anything, you have anything on this electoral reform.
Yes. Look, electoral reform it's more than just one thing. A lot of people believe that electoral reform should focus on ship jumping or you can't do this or you can't. Look, we have to look at our electoral system. We have a party system where the highest vote getters go to parliament. Those with the most money, most probably, go to parliament. Not necessarily those with the best qualifications. Not necessarily those that are the most genuine for the country. You get what you deserve, because that's what our system allows. Now, once you're elected on the party, you take an oath that you will vote your conscience. Now, this oath is you gotta be careful, because people take the oath out of context too. The oath says you should not be influenced by others in your decision making. Now, that's a nice sentence, but let's look at it deeper. If I was going to vote against building a new road because I believe environmentally it ain't no good, and I have a conversation with business people and other people that say, Bancampo, the traffic is so crazy, this country is killing us, is this, we need an additional road. And I change my mind to vote for that road. Am I now being influenced, yes or no? Because I was against the road initially. You see, so I'm just trying to show you, you don't vote no or yes because somebody told you, you must do that. You vote no or yes after having dialogue and coming to a consensus or finding this way is better than that way. That's what it's all about. If somebody disagrees with a party stance, you don't necessarily have to leave because you don't agree with a decision. I left my party that I was with because of an ideology stance. I didn't agree with an ideology change. And I said, I offered them the seat back. They said, no, you can hold your seat. I offered it back. Nobody could tell you that ain't true. I offered it back in a meeting. I don't know if you were in that meeting, but there were 7 people sitting there. And you have to remember this. When somebody is elected, they're elected by the public. Unfortunately, in our system, you're elected on a party. So you're bound also to party principles, party ideologies, etc., etc. Now, in reform, I believe that indeed there are certain things that should be looked at. But if somebody declares themselves independent, they are still a parliamentarian. And you can't now say, oh, but then you can't do this or you can't do that. You're doing that based on money, not on democracy. See, I hear people talking, oh, then they shouldn't go to IPCO and they should. This is utter nonsense. That person is representing the people of this country. Not because he's not in a party. And yes, does it have a serious financial repercussion? Yes, it does. But if you start saying, if you're independent, you may not have faction workers, you may not represent the country, but then just as well put him out and done. Then put him out and done. Because then the party board decides what you do. And you don't decide anything anymore. That's a dangerous something, because now you're changing the oath that you took. I just showed you how we can dialogue on it. But if we disagree, I go and vote what I believe is the right thing. A great example for me was the 3 laws. Can you remember the 3 laws in 2021? 2020, December. My party was vehemently against it. And I said, I cannot in my right frame of mind vote against the laws because I'm opposition. I am going to vote for those laws because this country is in a crisis. That was my call. It was a vote that I deliberated with my party, but I found it was too important of a subject to deviate for other reasons. Now, am I against the party? No, I'm not against the party. I just disagreed with the party's position. And for the party's bad luck, I am the one with the vote, and not they. So this is where electoral reform cannot interfere, because that's the democracy of the system, unless you decide to change the system. Look, we can also do like how it is in Anguilla, and one candidate per district or something like that. So that'd be very interesting, because when you take certain districts, you got 2-3 people living in the same district.
Yeah.
So, you know, who running where, who representing the district, how many districts are you going to have? 15 districts? We got 19 polling stations now. Are you going to have 19 different districts? Because polling stations, if you said, no, I'm going to combine a few polling stations, that means, are you going to redistrict then? So that people that are presently in politics still have a fair chance to postulate and run? Because you're changing the way politics was done.
Yeah,
if you go and redistrict and one person per district. Because then you're representing the district, not the party, the district. Yes, we are all in one group, but I am representing Sanders or St. John's. The St. Peter's got a problem, St. Peter's problem, that's my problem. I'm from St. John's. I'm making sure that St. John's get the money and fix all their roads. You come from Cold Bay, you're going to be fighting for your constituency. So we got to be careful because you change the dynamics a little bit. Electoral reform is needed. We have to set criteria on what is allowed and what's not allowed. You know, and we have to understand democracy. The position you hold, you have to understand what it means. The responsibilities, the image, all of those things have to be part of it.
I want to ask you a question before
Sure.
we go, because we're coming up. Airport. Now, that's what I'm going to say. Airport.
Yeah, you ask.
No, that's all I'm going to say. Airport. Your answer. Management of the airport, where we are now, after almost 8 years of, you know.
Okay, let me be with airport. Let me be very straight. There are a few things I've always said it, and my mind didn't change or nothing. I think the dismissal of Mikey Hyman was falsely done. The CEO should have been sent home already. I'm happy that they're not renewing his contract. I'm very happy for that because I think, like how many people told it to me, the reign of terror will come to an end. I think he's very disrespectful. I think when I saw, I think it was the Minister of Fiat said something and he went a very derogatory way. I continue chopping bush, or cutting bush, or planting bush, something. You know, listen, when you sit in those positions, you need to have broad shoulders and expect to get flack. And a politician, a minister who's a policy maker and governing this country in the executive branch, if they give a position, you have to be very careful how you give your comments. If you want to be derogatory, you'll be suspended. I am amazed that he's not suspended yet. I would have suspended him and told him, stay home while we sort this out. And since your contract coming to an end in December, I believe it is, let me pay you out, you know, and bring some calmness. They have enough people in the airport that are qualified to sit in that chair. He is no expert in airport, okay? He came, for God's sakes, from Telcel. Let's be honest. Let's be very honest. Nothing against the good gentleman, nothing against him personally, but when it comes to the job, he was not fit for that job from day one. He knew it, and those that put him there knew it. They all knew what they did. All them complaining, but the chicken's coming home to roost now. They're coming home to roost. And at the end of the day, I think you need some calm there. I personally hope that Mikey Hyman is reinstated in his position of COO. For my part, if he needs to temporarily manage until they get a new CEO, do so. The CFO that was promised to us now for the past 4 years through the Schiphol contract, I seriously hope that we get a local in there now because we have enough locals in St. Martin that can crunch numbers. Because the last time we had people there that were supposed to get our job, is the same gentleman saying he can't crunch numbers.
Yeah.
You know, and I say, this is my problem with it. Again, I hate to see locals put themselves in positions of trouble and then they have to be moved, because I am not a proponent of moving locals. Yes, sometimes the local that was put there was not cut out for that job, and then we have to be honest enough to say that. Look, if tomorrow you put me in a job that I'm not cut out for, I'm going to embarrass myself. I'm going to fool myself.
I have the same.
I'm going to thank you and I'm going to move on. And yes, it's brilliant, beautiful salary, nice benefits and all that. But you know what? Sometimes you personally have to agree, dying for me. Let me find something else. Dying for me. And I think the good gentleman bite off more than he could chew. It's unfortunate, but again, the airport was not damaged under his term, but a lot of mistakes were made under his term. And I think that's the principal reason that they're not really interested in having him continue as CEO. They opened the CEO pool now, so I think he can apply for the job. And then, you know, it will be, the people will be vetted and we'll see where it goes from there. I'm not going to say he should not apply. Hey, the job is there. Everybody has a right to apply. So do what you have to do and you know, and go with it. But I think right now he's not the best fit down there. He has a lot of problems with people down there. People don't trust him. People are afraid. You can't manage by fear. And I get the impression that he is managing by fear. When I hear, and even though he was one of the managers that fought for the local company winner, I will not deny him that he did good things too. But I think at this point in time, you have to look at the overall picture of the airport and saying, yeah, the airport going to open just now. Yeah, that's great. But you know what? The millions that were lost, the damages that were done to the reputation of the airport, this is something we have to build back. And I would have loved to see that plan, you know, come out, rolled out and say, okay, listen, we are going to upgrade and we're going out to the world, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But I'm not seeing that, I'm not hearing that, you know, so I still have my concerns.
A minute and a half to tell people why they should vote for Boncampa or vote for the Now Party.
I think the Now Party is the party with a new direction. So we have 16 good candidates. All of them have their strengths. What I bring to the table is knowledge, ability, and expertise. I've been in government for over 25 years. There's nobody that knows the infrastructure of this country better than I do. Nobody. So I know legislation. I have been part of legislation in government, in parliament. I have been part of it. I understand the task of a parliamentarian. Your task is not to run the government, but to manage the government. Your task is to legislate laws, co-legislate them with government. That's your primary task. I'm not vying to be a minister. I am vying to be a parliamentarian for country St. Martin. And once I do get elected, because I strongly believe I will be elected, people are listening to me, people are resonating to my message, because I don't have the same old message. No, I'm coming with something different. I am bringing you plausible, realistical solutions to problems we have today. People are hurting out there. Make no mistake, they might be driving a nice car, but they can hardly put a meal on the table for their family at night. So we need to deal with these situations head on and right now. We can't say after the elections, no, show the people your ideas. Run on your ability, run on your expertise, run on your knowledge. That's what I'm doing. I'm running on those three things.
Okay. Well, I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
You are number 2 on the Now Party.
That's right. I'm the number 2. Boncampa, Claudius Anthony. I think that's how you're going to see it.
Yeah.
So once you find that yellow list, 1, 2, drop that red dot there, like how Leo Chances said, bashabala on it.
Bashabala.
And with your support, I will take my seat. The law says I can, and you will make sure I will. So to my voting and listening public, thank you all very much. You all have a great weekend. Watch the weather. Might have some rain. Places might flood. Just be careful. Next week, Fernando, I think we're going to spend some time on what we have to look at with hurricane preparedness also with certain people.
Okay, thanks again, Bonks, and have a good weekend.
Thank you very much.
That's going to do it for me for today.